Super Mario Odyssey is here, and joins the ranks of the other great 3D Mario games such as the much-loved Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. After a long look at the ins and outs of Super Mario Odyssey, here are my thoughts on the game as a whole. For graphics, I gave the game a 10 out of 10. Super Mario Odyssey has some of the best graphics I've seen in a Mario game since Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii back in 2007. In the game's 17 different kingdoms, there is a unique feel to each and every one, bar a few that are in nearly the same region. If you were to close your eyes and pick a kingdom at random, once you've landed, you would know exactly which kingdom you're in just by looking at the screen. Each kingdom is filled with such color and their own unique NPCs to interact with. I found myself just walking around each area, talking to the NPCs, to hear what they had to say and to just take in my surroundings. It's great that Nintendo added in a snapshot mode because there are some amazing panoramic views to the places that Mario visits on his journey. The game does downgrade its resolution to 900p while in handheld mode, but in docked mode it runs the game at a stellar 1080p resolution. Even in handheld mode, the game looks amazing. There are even 8-bit platforming sections that feel just like an old-school Mario game, and added to the overall feel of the game as a whole. Next up for the sound, I gave the game a 10 out of 10 as well. The soundtracks in Super Mario Odyssey are just as amazing as the areas Mario visits. While I was out exploring the many kingdoms, I was delighted by each kingdom's own soundtrack. There were a number of times through my playthrough of the game that if I needed to step away from the game for a bit, I would just leave it on in the background and let the music play. What's even better is, as you progress through the game, you get the ability to play any of the soundtracks you've heard at any point. Being able to listen to your favorites anytime you may have a daunting task or a puzzle to solve. So, if you're, there's this power moon, you're just trying to figure out how to get to it, and the music isn't quite doing it for you, you can switch to your favorite kingdom's soundtrack, which is awesome. There are even chiptune versions of each of the songs that come up during any of the 8-bit puzzle sections, and those are also selectable, which is just awesome. If you're feeling like, I want that retro feel. Super Mario Odyssey's main theme, Jump Up Superstar, is the first fully vocalized Mario track and is a great addition to the game's many wonderful songs. Also, all the sound effects from jumping to hitting blocks and enemies, and the capture, as well as any of the attacks you get to do while you're capturing, are just amazing and on point. Like I said, sound, on point. Great soundtrack. The story, this one I gave an 8 out of 10. The story of Super Mario Odyssey is a little predictable. As with any other Mario game, Mario is off to save Princess Peach yet again. This time, though, he is also helping his new companion Cappy to rescue his sister and stop Bowser from marrying the princess. As you travel from kingdom to kingdom, Mario and Cappy discover different wedding-themed items that Bowser and his minions have stolen from each kingdom, and it's up to them to get these items back. All in all, the story was fun to play through, and ended on a fun note between all the characters. As Mario and Cappy progress through each kingdom, they are searching for power moons by completing different challenges in each area. Some of these challenges are just progressing through the area, while others can be obtained in out-of-the-way areas, or even by defeating the boss in each area. Again, the story, it's to be expected. It's a Mario game that's not really, why reinvent the wheel, pretty much. But the adventure that they go on is still really fun to play through, but the story just wasn't oh, this is amazing, mind-blowing, this is something new. That's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. For gameplay in Super Mario Odyssey, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Gameplay in Super Mario Odyssey was superb with a few drawbacks. Starting with a few problems, the game likes to point out every time you start it up that you should play with the detached Joy-Con. There are some things that you can do with Cappy that are much easier to do with the detached Joy-Con, that the game almost feels like it punishes you a little bit for using them attached, or if you're using a Pro Controller. The game itself can be finished without the use of detaching the Joy-Con, and using them that way. It did kind of bring back that feel of that Super Mario Galaxy feel to Odyssey. Most of the game, I switched back and forth depending on my mood, but the game is designed to be played with whichever way the player decides. On occasion, it felt as though your button presses for some of the more advanced jumps had to be in pinpoint precision or the controller would falter and you'd end up just slamming down into a pit instead of cap jumping it. Other than that, the game handles wonderfully and felt like a refined Mario game. It kind of felt like they took everything that all the other previous 3D Mario games had and, refined them and fine-tuned them for Super Mario Odyssey. One big difference for Super Mario Odyssey compared to the other 3D Mario games is that with every Power Moon you collect, it doesn't reset each area. Like in Mario 64, if you were going to collect one of the stars, you would jump into the painting and select which challenge you were going to do, go through that challenge, get that star, and then you'd get back out of the painting, have to go back in, select which star you were going to do, and go on from there. With Super Mario Odyssey, instead of loading into the same area 10 times to get 10 different moons, you can actually collect all 10 in one playthrough of that area. You land in, let's say, the Cascade Kingdom, where it's all the dinosaurs and the fossils and everything, and you find where 10 different moons are hiding throughout the map. You can get all 10 of those in one go without having to leave. It's great, and it definitely makes it so that the gameplay doesn't feel all broken up. As far as for content and endgame, I gave it a 10 out of 10. The amount of content in Super Mario Odyssey for the average player is outstanding. Throughout the entire game, as you collect Power Moons, your Odyssey gets a bit more of a power boost. There are 836 different challenges for unique moons in the game to complete, with some of the endgame challenges testing everything you have learned throughout the entire game. That includes like being able to do some of those advanced jumps. It's just, some of the challenges are mind-boggling. While getting the max 999 Power Moons doesn't unlock a new mode for the game, kind of like in Super Mario Galaxy. If you collected all of the Power Stars, it would unlock a mode where you could play the game as Luigi. This one, unfortunately, doesn't do that, which is a little bit of a bummer, but getting to that point for the 999 Power Moons will take hours of gameplay. Hours and hours. Moon totals vary from kingdom to kingdom, with some having as low as 5 or as many as 104, with each moon having its own challenge tied to it. The best part is that as you play through the story mode, you're only allowed to collect so many moons before you need to finish the story to collect the rest. So if you get stuck, there are hints that you can buy for locations and hints on what those challenges might be, but those are both optional. You don't have to use those at all. So if you want to try and get all, I think in the Sand Kingdom there's 84 moons. If you want to go and get all 84 without using any hints, you can do that. It's all optional. On top of all the different Power Moon challenges, each kingdom has 2 shops. One shop has different cosmetic items, like different outfits for Mario to wear, that you can use just regular coins. So all the yellow coins that you're going around in each kingdom picking up or in each area, as you collect those, you'll be able to just buy some cosmetic items from one of the shops with those, but each kingdom has its own unique currency with items in a unique shop, and those are called region coins. And with those region coins, you usually can get about it's 50 or 100 coins hidden throughout the area, and usually they're in 3s or 4s. Sometimes there's just a single one just hanging out somewhere. Sometimes there's 2. But as you collect all of those, that lets you buy cosmetic items that you can have in your Odyssey to decorate your Odyssey, as well as other unique outfits that are more fine-tuned for that region that you're using the coins in. As I said, the amount of content is enormous, especially when compared to the predecessors of Odyssey. Usually, like in Mario 64, there's 120 stars. I think there's 120 stars in Super Mario Galaxy. There are 836 different challenges to get moons. So that's just to get, one moon. Some of them are multi-moons, so they give you 3 power. But that's, 836 different challenges. If that had a star tied to each other, that's 836 stars. So that's almost 8 times as much content. Super Mario Odyssey is filled with stuff to do from beginning to the very end. As far as final thoughts on Super Mario Odyssey, it is a great addition to the franchise and a must-own for any Nintendo Switch owner. If you are thinking about picking up a Switch for the holidays, this is a game I wouldn't pass up on. Super Mario Odyssey can easily be a contender for Game of the Year, and has already been getting great marks across the board. For us, Super Mario Odyssey gets a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, when in doubt, blow it up.